Welcome to episode 6, part 2 of the Kibble Farm. Today we're going to pick up where we left off, which was finishing the Dino pens. Thanks, Grim. I've experimented with several Dino pen designs. The square and rectangle patterns seem to waste space, especially in the corners. The hexagon pattern is the most efficient use of surface area and space, in my opinion. This extension to the north is going to be a airlock between the main hexagonal Dino pins and the taming pit. This pit is designed for an aerial drop, so if you have a flyer that you can pick up a Dino with, you can drop it inside and tame at your leisure. Or if you are on a server that does not allow Dino pickup, you can always modify by adding ramps to the outside perimeter, so you can actually physically kite a tame into the trap. Either way, it's just a method of how to deal with any dinosaurs that you do want to tame that do approach the base itself. Copy, Grim. Thanks for the heads up. I thought I smelled rain in the air. Dino pen. I'm going to use this primarily for harvest dinos, smaller herbies, and maybe some flyers in the smaller pens. Now I move into the inside. There's a lot of stuff to put in this build, so I'm going to increase my work area a little bit by expanding this loft. First step is to kind of bring some natural light inside by putting greenhouse or slope ceilings in. Next, we work on the garden. The garden essentially can be put anywhere. It's always best to put it as close to an irrigation source as possible. I'm already planning an irrigation source somewhere in this area. This area right here is where I want to put irrigation area. I want the irrigation area to complement the build, not to stand out from the build. So I'm going to lay out kind of the range of what I want to add. Now we'll establish the piping. Might try to see if I can take it 3 high. It might be a little too high, but we'll see what it looks like. Let's get the reservoirs in. Always a pain to place. Yeah, that top row looks a little too high. I don't want it to stand out above the build like a chimney. More like a complement to the side of the building. I'd like to add a little more irrigation, a little more reservoirs to this build, but I don't want to take it up, so I'm going to try something a little different. The goal is to fill the negative space between the reservoirs with another reservoir or 2. Use a half wall trick here so I can pull this off. Now, I will always opt for an irrigation system just because I do not like air pipes. It's always a good idea to cover the entire floor with accessible water lines. You never know where you might need one in the future. One of the most annoying things about crafting is you don't need to craft and worry about where you get water from. So you should always make it a priority to make sure that your tribe has a water source and food source. Wall pattern, just so it looks a little more symmetrical. It's a part of the build. Next area to work on is the refrigerator and the preserving bin area. Mainly the place where you can make your jerky, store your eggs, store your kibble, store your berries, store your jerky, everything a Kibble Farm needs. I am using the ladder method for everything I'm placing. I'm just editing it out so you don't have to watch it. So always go for a ladder if you want to make sure it's as straight as possible. It saves so much time trying to line stuff up. Now it's time for the generator. I like to have the wires always hidden, especially on a vanilla server. Not a big fan of air pipes or wires all over the place like spider webs. Putting 2 fridges up here, just to give a secondary point for vegetable collection and berry collection. If you're up here, doing whatever, you can just check the berries, stick them in the fridge. Need them for kibble, need them for anything. You can just come up to the fridge and get some. Makes the chores that much simpler. The goal of any base like this is just to be as efficient as possible. Next, we're going into the grill area. I'm going to put 4 or 5 grills here so we can cook that much meat at one time. Alright, let's see about making this some kind of a center structure. First guess was to irrigate it, but I'm not going to stress on that. This is going to be the main crafting area. Whenever you're dealing with a larger tribe, you have a lot of tribe members a lot of times working on different projects at the same time. Some making bullets, some making tranks, some making food. So it's always good to have a nice variety and a nice open work area for your tribe mates to come in and do what they do and take off. If they're all fighting for mortar and pestle on the floor, it's going to get a little tiring. This way it clearly puts it in their face, a nice drinking spot so they can actually refresh themselves with some water without much concern. And a little glass ceiling just for aesthetics. Next, putting in the smithies, and put 3 on each side. And next is the barracks, giving your tribe plenty of places to spawn if needed. Now I'm going to work on the antenna that will link me to the source of Grimlock, which is basically just an AI that controls the ARK. There's been a couple design flaws and a couple tribes that have tried this, so I'm changing a few things up. So basically it just, an alpha tribe tried to reverse engineer a artifact to figure out how it worked, and inadvertently tapped into their mainframe.
Greetings LD and viewers, I finally have a voice of my own.
That's great news, Grim. It's better than reading your texts from my implant. Last location outside that we will work on is the compost area. Compost area is incredibly simple once you have identified where to gather dung beetles. So you just put 4 dung beetles. 2 is good, but 4 is awesome. And a Phiomia next to it, and you've got fertilizer for days.
LD, this antenna has been modified. How did you beat the overheating core system and the weak signal? Oh, I see. You added an aircon and a denser tech piece to the design to stabilize the signal. GG.
No problem, Grim. Start off by running a self-diagnostic. I do not need you shutting down in the field when I need you the most. Then analyze the teleporter project for immediate field testing, please.
Command understood.
For the sake of time, I did not include a pillar, wall, or Species X tutorial. Please let me know in the comments if you need a tutorial on how to build either one of these defensive measures. I believe we have an older tutorial in our archive that we can upload for you.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Do not forget to hit the notification bell. Every time the bell rings, a Dino dies in the ARK. I will see to it, personally. LD. The teleporter is online. I recommend we test it on Adobe first.
No need. I have the perfect test subject or subjects depending on how many views we get. If you make it back safely, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Teleporter activation in 3, 2, 1.